Good day, Bashar.
And you good day.
So good to connect to you in this way. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Yeah, so I want to discuss one of our darker expressions, one of our demons.
How exciting.
Yes, and I want to talk a little bit about anger, which can give way to
Yes.
aggression and violence that we have in our culture.
Yes. Although, what we might call natural anger only lasts about 15 seconds. Beyond that, it's self-judgment. That's the kind of anger you're actually talking about that causes the difficulties.
Right.
But let's also use a new term here. Because the idea of what we're referring to as natural anger is really just resonance alignment. When you experience something or are exposed to something that you really are vibrationally incompatible with, that you do not resonate to, you will feel that resonant reflection.
Yes.
And you will say, I am aligned with this or I am not. And in that moment, that's all you need to know. And that lasts about 15 seconds. Anything beyond that, you usually then get into all sorts of belief systems and value judgments and all sorts of other things, which is something else completely different. But go on to say what you're going to say, and then I will tell you something also that is very powerful with respect to this so-called emotion of anger or resonance alignment.
Yeah, I think what I want to know is there something that we can learn on our kind of transition into a more evolved way of being? You know, you're farther along on that path, and I guess I want to know if your culture experiences anger, if you guys experience or express violence or aggression, and if you do, or even if you don't, how did you move through that, and what could we learn from that so that in this transition we can have a more, I don't know, evolved or constructive way of dealing with that kind of resonance, that energy that we tend to express violently and destructively, at least at this time.
I am angry that you asked.
All right, so you do feel it.
No, I'm kidding. No,
well, I'm
we
curious,
do not
actually.
experience the idea that you call anger in the way that you mean it, no. We experience resonant alignment, yes. However, let us introduce a new idea first and foremost before we go on. There is a phrase that exists in your storytelling structure that is actually representative of an emotion, even though most of you don't think of it as such. The idea of this resonance alignment, when you see something that is vibrationally incompatible, when there is some kind of resonance there, that you say, I wish to do something about this. It's called a call to action. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's not a judgment, it's not a value judgment, but it's a recognition that something must be acted on in order to express the idea of the alignment that you feel in contrast or comparison to the misalignment you perceive. And that emotion, that natural resonant realignment or comparison, rather than actually being referred to now as natural anger that lasts 15 seconds, is actually capable of being described as what might be called a new emotional label, a new emotional definition, and that new emotion is a call to action. Do you understand?
Yeah, I like that. I
All
feel
right.
that. I feel
All
that.
right. Now, here's something else that's a very, very, very powerful tool. You have a word for it, but many of you don't actually understand what it is. Forgiveness. You follow me? What is forgiveness? I'll tell you, thank you. This is what forgiveness as a state of being is actually vibrationally, mechanically doing. When you go into a state of forgiveness, you are forgiving yourself, you are forgiving others, yes?
Yes.
It actually is a vibration that has the ability to actually neutralize the negative consequences of a negative choice someone may have made. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. You know that everything you choose to do will have in physical reality some form of consequence, some form of outcome. Even in what you call the afterlife, you've heard the term the life review.
Yes.
You will look back at your life and you will experience all of the consequences of the choices you made from the point of view of anyone who was ever in any way, shape, or form choosing to be affected by anything that you did, as if you were them. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, forgiveness of self and forgiveness of others can actually neutralize the experience of a consequence generated through a negative act. So that even in physical life and even in the life review, if that gets canceled out by forgiveness, the person will not have to experience the consequence of a choice they made that might have had a negative consequence. This is the actual interpretation and meaning when people in religious contexts say that a being like Jesus took away your sins. It means when that being said, "Father, forgive them, they know not what they do," he was offering you the vibrational teaching that forgiveness can actually neutralize the consequence of a negative choice, so that you wouldn't have to experience what it was the people of the time were doing to him as a negative act. He forgave you all for all time. Do you understand?
Yes.
That has the profound effect of allowing you to be free to forgive yourselves and others and come back into alignment. This is where we began our understanding and practice of neutrality for any kind of consequence of a choice that might have been negative in our ancient past.